school. I don't know if you guys saw the story or not, but I thought that I would cover this story for you guys to kind of give us something that we should discuss as a community in terms of just, stories that we should know about, things that you may want to share on your social media, stuff like that. Because we know that our kids are in danger. We know that our kids are a target. We know that there are people that don't even want your son to have been born. And since they couldn't stop him from being born, they want to make sure that he does not live his life in a happy place. And so anyway, let me just tell you this. So there's this story that somebody shared with me today in my Facebook, in which there was a child that was charged with assault at the age of 10. And so you may wonder, how does a 10-year-old get charged with assault? Well, apparently he was playing dodgeball and he hit a white kid in the face. According to this story on Yahoo News, there's a young child, 10 years old, who hit another child in the face with a dodgeball, and they are charging this 10-year-old child, with aggravated assault. This is unbelievable. It's kind of shocking, kind of weird and outrageous that they would do this. It's so funny that they will, when they talk about other things that involve minors, like, for example, when you talk about minors having sex, if a little white girl has sex with an older black man or something like that, like an R. Kelly type thing or whatever, it's like, oh, well, they're kids. They don't know what they're doing. Kids shouldn't be held accountable for what they do. But black children are held accountable for what they do, even as early as the age of 5. You've seen black children get, suspended, incarcerated. You've seen black children in handcuffs as kindergartners, first graders, second graders, etc. Now I'm going to read some of the story to you. This is on Yahoo News. And according to Yahoo, the mom of a 10-year-old boy received the shock of her life recently, a phone call from her juvenile court explaining that her son would be charged with aggravated assault. This was months after a playground game of dodgeball at his elementary school. I couldn't believe it, said Cameishi Lindley, mother of soon-to-be 5th grader Bryce Lindley. Let's see, now because the boy's being punished as black and the boy who was injured is white, some critics are charging it as racist, including Tariq Nasheed and DL Hughley and a few others, and I agree with them 100%. Why wouldn't it be racism? Basically, they said that Bryce received a 1-day suspension from Ruth Erickson Elementary School in Canton for allegedly hitting a classmate in the face with a ball during a game of dodgeball. The child reportedly sustained a concussion, but because it was an accident, Lindley didn't expect punitive measures against her son Bryce to go any further. But the injured child's mother says her son had a previous medical condition that made him susceptible to head injuries. Further, she alleges to 7 Action News that this particular injury was no accident, adding that he sustained facial tissue damage to his face, had a black eye, and a bruised nose. She says that her son has already experienced similar incidents while engaging in physical activities at school, and she tried to not let it get to this point. Okay, well then shit. Maybe the child's mother should be in jail. Maybe his mama needs to get locked up. Maybe his mama needs to get locked up, because if your child has a pre-existing condition in which he can be significantly injured, severely injured playing dodgeball, I need to know why the hell he was playing dodgeball in the first place. I mean, I'm reading the story and it's like little white boy innocently gets attacked by a vicious black man who's 10 years old in a game of dodgeball. And I'm like, well, what did he do? Did he stab? Did he shank him during the game? Did he hit him with a baseball bat? Did he get mad and throw him in the lake and try to break his neck? No, he hit him with the dodgeball. Well, isn't that what you're supposed to do in games of dodgeball? I don't know. It's been a long time since I played. Maybe y'all can help me. Maybe y'all can jog my memory. I thought dodgeball was a game where you're supposed to play dodgeball. Maybe I thought dodgeball was a game where you're supposed to hit people with the ball. So you're telling me, seriously, I need y'all to just sit back and I need y'all to just marinate in the fuckery of this whole thing. I need y'all to just really meditate on how stupid racism is. I just need y'all to really process this for a moment. A 10-year-old boy has been charged with aggravated assault for hitting a child with the dodgeball during a game of dodgeball. And this child, whose mother says, well, you shouldn't have hit my child because he has a pre-existing condition. Then why in the hell was your child out there in the first place? So I'm not. So we know that the charges are stupid. The charges are crazy. I mean, tell me if you think the charges are crazy. I need to know that I'm not the only one in here. Like I'm really looking at this, not believing what I'm reading. It's crazy as those situations where black men are charged. You know, where they're charged with rape and there's no evidence and they cite no evidence whatsoever except for what somebody said. Like Albert Wilson, the poor brother out in Kansas City. Go look up freealbertwilson.com. Freealbertwilson.com. Tell you all about his case. 23 years old college student. Was with a white girl 5 minutes, never had sex with her. White girls all over him. She's drunk trying to get some ass, and he gets charged with rape somehow. I'm like trying to figure out the math. The math doesn't make any sense, but that's what you call racial math. That's what you call the math of a racist, which is 1 + 1 + 3 is 187. Black man goes to prison. 2 + 2 × 12 divided by 8 to the 14th power leads to black man goes to prison. 8 divided by 5 times 4 to the 8th power is black man goes to prison. It's the most extraordinary thing I've ever seen in my life. And what I think that we as black people have to kind of do is understand that you too are brainwashed as well. You too are just as backwards as the white supremacists. And the reason for that is because it takes situations this extreme for you to realize that you are in one of the most backward, corrupt systems in this world. The one of the most racist. I mean, people in other parts of the world look at America and they say, I don't know how you black people do it. How do you African Americans survive under this kind of tyranny? And we ain't just talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just a reflection of what's there. He's a reflection of this system, right? That's what he is. He's just a symptom, right? You know, the systematic racism, it was even there when Obama was in the White House. It's always there. It never leaves. I mean, think about this. So tell me what you think. Give me your opinions on this, guys, because I'm at a loss here. I'm sitting there reading this story and I can't believe what I'm reading. Like literally this child, Bryce, little Bryce, who's now been severely traumatized for life. He's on there crying. Bryce Lindley, 10 years old, crying with his mama. You know, people that want to murder other children aren't crying. They don't sit around crying with their mothers. They're killers, right? Apparently, but he's not. He's a little boy who's playing dodgeball, and this mother, this bad mother of this other child, puts her child out there in the dodgeball game with the other children, knowing he has a brain injury, and then they press charges against the child that throws the ball and hits him because her child had a brain injury. Her child had no business being out there. So I'm serious. I think that we need to like flip the script and kind of say, hey, wait a minute, you're a bad mother. You're penalizing us because you're a bad mother. That don't make no sense. How many of you have ever played dodgeball and got hit harder than you wanted? How many of you have ever played dodgeball and maybe you got hit so hard that you said, I don't want to play no more, right? You didn't have to have a brain or head injury or brain problem. You just really were like, man, I'm getting out of this shit. This hurts. I don't want to play dodgeball anymore. Have you ever gone through that? Right. Danielle says me. I agree. Me too. Anthony, me too. Right. So if you are not supposed to be out there, either because you can't withstand the pain of a ball possibly hitting you in the face, or you just don't want to go through that shit, you just don't feel like getting hit on a Tuesday, then you walk off the field. You get off the field, and the adults that are responsible for you are the ones who are supposed to tell you, stay off the field. You're not supposed to be out there. So, you know, this child, not only did he not do anything wrong, but his mother needs to sue that school. Whoever filed these charges needs to be punished. That mother who sent her child out there to play, somebody needs to slap her. Like, what's wrong with you? You're out of your damn mind. This is insane. So anyway, let me finish this last part off. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button on the video so more people will see this, because I need everybody to see this story. I looked up some statistics from the sentencingproject.org. Thank God that we have, you know, organizations like Sentencing Project that can highlight some of these disparities. And you guys may or may not know this. You probably have guessed this, but African Americans are 5 times more likely than whites to be held, to be detained, you know, as youth. Black males are, you know, super high, sky high. I mean, you know, 7-8 times more likely. Black children in general are about 5 times more likely. Black males are more likely to be arrested for the same crimes, more likely to go to prison for the same crimes. They're more likely to get longer sentences for the same crimes. If you compare the black male to, say, the white female gets the lightest sentences, even when she does the same thing. The black male gets the worst sentences. So we know that there are disparities in this country. And I just encourage you, when they get you worried about what's going on with immigrants, or worried about what's border issues, or worried about what's going on with feminism, where white women get their butts touched at work and they get $10 million. Instead, you should probably step up and say, well, what about us? If you want us to support you politically or otherwise, you got to deal with our issues first, because we've been here the longest and we have made the greatest sacrifice, and our children are suffering the most. That's all there is to it. So they are targeting black boys. And I will say this, I will remind you of this. One of the things that we believe in here in the Black Business School in this space is we believe in what is called the Black Core of Three. The Black Core of Three, that's our core value. It is that we believe black people should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support black businesses. We should educate our own children because our children are in danger when they are going into these schools where they want to put your child into prison. The school to prison pipeline is as real as hell, and your child is in danger when they're being educated by an oppressor who does not care about their future. When you have 10-year-old boys getting charged with assault because they were playing dodgeball and they hit somebody with the ball, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Imagine if a kid's playing football and he tackles somebody and they say you're charged with assault because you tackled somebody. I mean, it's ridiculous. In dodgeball, the goal of dodgeball is to hit people with the ball, unless somehow they come up with some sort of magical white man dodgeball where you're not supposed to hit anybody. I don't know. Maybe I'm old fashioned. I don't get it. I thought dodgeball meant you throw the ball and somebody gets hit. So the fact that he got hit and you're being charged with assault is about the craziest, most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And I think that this is a reason why, if you have the ability to educate your kids in a space that is safe for them, you should do that. I encourage you to find an African-centered school for your child, even if you got to pay a little bit of money. You pay money for the new car, you pay money to go to see the Black Panther, you pay money when Beyonce comes in concert, or you pay money to get your hair and your wig done, then you can pay money to educate your child. So I would encourage you, look at some of these African-centered schools out here. Maybe homeschooling is an option. There are homeschooling curricula out here that you can learn and put together. We actually made a movie. We have a film company, Boyce Watkins Films. We made a film called Raising a Black Scholar. I believe you can find it on Amazon or something. If you Google it, I got to go figure out where it's at exactly. But Raising a Black Scholar, where basically we featured families that homeschool their children. And the reason they homeschool their children is because they want their children to be safe. I wish my parents had homeschooled me, because every day I went to school, it was like a nightmare. It was like going to prison. I hated it. Fortunately, I was, if they'd had rules like this where you getting charged for assault for hitting a kid with a ball, I'd have been locked up a long time ago. Y'all would know me as Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'd be inmate number 7654622, and I'd be teaching finance classes in prison. I'd be like the guy who, the brother in prison who's like the Wall Street, they call him Mr. Wall Street, Curtis Wall Street, Jackson. I can't remember his last name, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That's what I would be. I would be one of the smartest guys in my cell block, because I would be lost black potential sitting behind bars because of white supremacist systems. So, if you see me and you see me as a guy who I easily could have been, I don't know about you. Tell me if you're one of those kids that would have probably gotten suspended or expelled or locked up based on the way rules are now. I mean, when I was a kid, we got into fights. We played dodgeball, and I would hit your ass with that ball if I could to keep you from hitting me. We would sometimes you get jumped, sometimes you jump in somebody else, right? It was some days you win some days you lose some. Kids today don't have that anymore. Now they want to charge our children, our babies, as adults. They see your child as a threat. That's how that poor little guy, not Trayvon Martin. Although he's an example. The other little brother that had the BB gun in Cleveland that got shot by the cop, right? You know what I'm talking about. Tamir Rice. That's how kids like that get killed, because they look at your 12-year-old, 9-year-old, 11-year-old son, and they don't see a baby. They see a grown ass man. They see somebody that's a threat. So ultimately, if this kid was not black, he wouldn't have gotten charged. If he were a white female, there's no way they charge him, because they believe prison is too rough for white women, although it's built for black men. That's how they kind of see it, because they see you as an animal, and that's the world that we live in. So anyway, I think it's unbelievable. It's outrageous. I think they need to explain more, and I think that this mother needs to be charged for putting her son out there. You up here setting up traps for these kids. Like, these kids, they out here being children, and you putting your your child out there. Your child don't need to be playing dodgeball, kickball, football, basketball, no ball. He needs to be sitting at home with his mama, next to his mama in a rocking chair, reading a fairy tale book or something, because apparently your child is not equipped to go out and play with other children. Because guess what? When children play together, sometimes kids get hit with a ball, right? That's part of life. Newsflash, that's life 101. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm tired of being mad about stuff, so I ain't got enough energy to be mad all night long. I'm about to bounce on out of here. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget, this weekend we're doing our Emancipation Weekend. We're going to talk all about how to own multifamily properties. It is totally free, won't cost you a penny. It's digital, online. You can watch from anywhere in the world. Julian Gord will be here. He's going to talk all about owning multifamily properties and renting out land, renting out apartments, renting out things like that, where the tenants are paying your rent instead of you. So if you ever want to get in that game and understand how it works, the Black Business School is here for you, built for you, built by you. We have experts that are better than the ones you learn from in college, and we're here to teach you all the things you need to know to get ahead and to be free economically. So if you want to join, go to theemancipationequation.com. You can sign up there, THE, that's theemancipationequation.com. I'll type the URL in the chat. That's theemancipationequation.com. I'm out of here, guys. Hit the thumbs up button before you go, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.